Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing an all-time great in the pantheon of Royal Oak Offshore limited editions. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Pride of Argentina. You can see this 2010 limited edition of 100 pieces in titanium and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this 42mm 1 of 100 Royal Oak Offshore Pride of Argentina. Now, the Pride of series, always associated with a specific nationality of great importance to Audemars Piguet as a retailer, has created some hits and some misses, but very few have connected so completely that they've hit the ball out of the park. Now, forgive my American baseball reference in deference to an Audemars Piguet dedicated to Argentina, but I feel that the analogy is apt. Now, the watch is beautiful. It's a flawless combination of colors and textures and tones. But let's start with the fit, because fit comes first. 42mm, the offshore always wears larger. A 42 offshore wears like a 44 or a 45 in a conventional case, and 42 is across the case from approximately 2 to 8, not inclusive of the chronograph pushers, crown guards, or crowns. The watch is not excessively thick despite the modular chronograph movement. 14.5mm with a somewhat sloped octagonal bezel flank. It will slide underneath a sport jacket or a blazer cuff. It's from lug to lug where this watch really asserts itself, however. 54mm across the wrist, and if you were to include the rigid plots that extend the case out to the strap, the watch would have a more substantial 58mm span across the wrist. So while it is feather light in titanium and thus easier to wear on a small wrist, make no mistake, it is a big watch. It also features the substantial and beautifully made Audemars Piguet, let me open this up and show you in better detail, hornback leather strap. Now, the hornback is a very rigid piece of alligator leather that's bolstered, stiff. It has a resilience to it that makes it feel almost as though you're wearing a bracelet. And it will fight the curve of your wrist because it is so stiff. So it wears better on a larger wrist. I would say the lower limit to wear this watch on the hornback is probably 16 centimeters in circumference, like my wrist. Now, it is a wonderful piece, however, retained by screws. You can see this is the more secure way of fixing a large, substantial, an expensive sports watch to the wrist. No spring bars here. Audemars Piguet cuts no corners. The hornback, because of its stiffness, is also substantial. It's an expensive and visually impressive piece with a long-wearing durability. I've seen these last the better part of a decade in general use, proof and testament to the quality of the leather used and the quality of the workmanship. Generously bolstered with sheer sides and a monotone stitch in navy blue. This one features an Audemars Piguet titanium high-polished AP logo buckle to provide additional insurance against droppage while donning or removing at bedside. Now, the watch features the classical Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore 42mm case with contrast between satin or grain finished on the lug hoods and the case band, as well as the sharp geometries of the vertical cut of the case, beautifully joined to the vertical cut of the bezel. That definition gives way to a beautiful and tapering polished bevel along the case band that nicely unites the case middle to the flanks and the hoods of the lugs. You'll also note the contrast between the polished and rounded edges of the octagonal bezel and the satin finish of the top, as well as the full expression of the bezel gasket as a design element of the watch itself. It also provides beautiful contrast that breaks up the mass of the case. Now, the high-polished bolts, they are bolts and they are counter-threaded from the back, are hexagonal, stainless steel, and nicely contrasted and slightly countersunk from the satin finish of the bezel top. The dial, however, is the highlight of the watch. Now, you'll note it features mega tapisserie at center, and then there's a beautiful concentric guilloche cut beneath the applied rose gold metal Arabic numerals. They have a beautiful directional satin grain to them, and they're a rich appointment to a watch, perhaps two-tone rendered in the best possible way. Personally, I'm not a fan of it on bracelet, case, bezel, or crown, but on the dial of a base metal watch, to me, this combination just sizzles. In juxtaposition to the white print and the navy blue base, this is well nigh perfect, and it's a rare treatment, as these satin-finished, solid metal as opposed to luminescent numerals rarely appear on Royal Oak Offshores. Of course, the watch is loomed by means of the baton rose gold hands for hours and minutes. Sunken date, a signature of the Royal Oak Offshore, and All is controlled via the crown as well as the chronograph pushers, coated in a beautiful navy blue synthetic. Inside the case, and you can see the image of the case back, the watch is an homage to the bicentennial of Argentine independence, circa 2010. It is a 100-piece series within the H sequence. The movement inside is the Audemars Piguet 3126 with the 3840 module, so 365 parts, 59 jewels. It has a 50 to 55 hour power reserve. Of course, the winding system is particular to the watch, as Audemars Piguet wanted to avoid the lack of refinement inherent in a unidirectional system, so this one winds bidirectionally, one of the few modern calibers that does. It recoups efficiency lost in the bidirectional system by means of unlubricated ceramic bearings for high efficiency and long-wearing durability, as well as reduced maintenance needs. Because of the Dubois-Depraz chronograph module, the vertical clutch allows the hand to start and stop, the chronograph hand, without any kind of stagger or jump. It also allows the chronograph to run continuously, so if you just prefer to have seconds at center with the hours and minutes, just leave the chronograph running, ignore the sub-registers. No additional wear and tear due to the vertical clutch. There's also a hacking system so that when you pull the crown out, thread it out, you can stop the balance, halt the seconds, and synchronize to a reference time. And there is a quick set for the date, such that you can rapidly cycle the date should the watch run down or encounter an irregular length month. Finally, the in-house base caliper is free-sprung with a full dual-anchored balance bridge for additional durability and water-resistant, albeit on a bracelet or a textile or a rubber strap, water-resistant to 100 meters. A versatile and handsome watch. You don't have to be an Argentine national or a fan of the national football team to love this timepiece. While it may be the pride of Argentina, its appeal is global.